Placa is a sniper with that MAC-10. Little bait and switch to flush out Taco's position.
So much time as well, Moses. They can play mind games with coldzera here. MAC-10 killed from that range against an Orc. Alrighty then. Nip, welcome back.
That is a beautiful round. They've been doing that all event long, winning those half buys, winning those pistol buys. It strikes again. It's given them such a boost. And one more time, they're going to have MIBR on the verge of being reset. So another window of opportunity here that NIP has provided themselves with to get back into this game. One last buy for the Brazilians. AWP on Fallen. It's a strong buy. 4 AUGs. Very, very light on utility. No kits as well. This time NIP not going to be as fast-paced as they just were, busting out into that outer yard. Phelps is already in ladder room. He'll have a duel against Get Right at some point during this round.
The Swedes on the brink of breaking MIBR's bank. Heavy stack on Ivy. This is where a lack of utility may actually hurt MIBR. You typically want to coordinate off with a smoke or a Molotov. Get Right's trying to bait as much as he can down Pop Dog, but Phelps is having none of it. And now the strike in effect has been pressed down. Phelps going to get the better of Get Right. That's solid work. He's going to lock off one of the angles. Forrest gets an entry, but it's looking pretty tentative right now for NIP. It's looking precarious. They line up. That was so nearly a 2-for-1. NIP have thinned MIBR completely out, and they're all isolated across the map. Completely different avenues of re-aggression.
Yeah, these flanks are going to be huge. Obviously very aware of ladder room. The Molotov to win it. Rez has to win that. Low HP Phelps takes the point of contact. Fur now far away, and I don't know if MIBR can get back into this. Remember, no kits, so this has to be fast. There is an HE grenade on Fur. No one low, and that's a big win for Rez. First move forward, and he's going to get dropped as well. NIP, 2 in a row. They've done it. Very effective offensive side so far for the Ninjas.
And those smiles suddenly disappearing for MIBR.
Yeah, all that laughter.
As they realize they're up to some USP rounds more than likely. They can't really afford to invest anything in this.
We saw that defense in the last game if you were tuned into the Na'Vi Avantgarde. I touched on it a number of times of that kind of style of guarding Ivy from the middle, from the bomb train, from that middle train, and how quickly it can collapse. You saw it there. Just one piece of misrotation from one of the players, and he's exposed to the Ivy push. Rez gets dinked. He has had a blistering start to this game. 16-8 on Rez at the moment. Dennis knows there's one up top, waiting for the peak. Forrest is going to get it. USP's ringing out. All 3 players in or around connector, a vertical stack. Forrest doesn't shoot for it. Now he knows, but there's one way up top as well. There's not much more coldzera and Fur can do, especially as a nade lands at his feet. So a 5th round for NIP. And the next buy isn't going to be great for MIBR either. They're going to be missing an AWP, which they've wanted on Fallen as much as possible. They'll have the AUGs out. This is a real chance for NIP to have not just a good half, but an incredible half.
They're already 5. Their choice of map, their CT side we know is pretty damn strong, especially with the AUGs now in place. But as you touched on, lack of utility, no kits again. It was lack of smokes and Molotovs that hurt them last time around. Very aggressive pushes from the Swedes. Already flashbangs being deployed outside, trying to draw out what little remains of MIBR's value in terms of grenades. They only have 1 smoke, 2 flashes, and a HE. There's a minute and 35 to play with. That's why they're playing aggressive. And they've got the scalp of Rez. That's a big one. First spins around, doubles up onto Dennis, and could get a 3rd. So nearly claims the life of Get Right. That is sensational.
A little bit of intuition for Fur, and then a little bit of luck sprinkled on top. Lekro gets blinded and can't respond. Now there's still an opportunity here for NIP. Yes, Get Right is going to have a tough time getting involved in action with only 12 health. They have utility. They still have control of the bomb. And they have over a minute for Force to try and find something with this AWP. You have to imagine there's his chance, and he flicks up straight out of the sky. Fur takes a risk. What a brilliant shot from Force. Still a tough one to hit.
The overkill in the head as well.
Oh, that was gorgeous.
400 plus damage of meaty goodness. Still low. Nip are on the back foot. They have Get Right very low. Just 12 health. They do have a massive advantage in terms of grenades, though. They're looking to implement them right now. Onto connector, backside of site, 30 seconds. They are going to commit behind this. Switching guns so that Get right now has the AWP, where health isn't as valuable, but down goes Lecro. Even more pressure applied to Forest. You feel like it's going to have to come from him if this clutch is going to become a reality. And he's gone down. Get right will get the bomb plant, but no more. MIBR will move to an 8-5 lead.
They played that really well in that 3v3. Fallen just toying that with them from above. There's just so many different spots you have to clear and check with your NIP in that situation, and that position above from Fallen is kind of one of the last ones you really look at. This is such a great round from Fur, and it's his trademark aggression. There's no sign that it's coming, and I mean, just the courage to take that kind of a fight. The follow-up dink as well, because remember, it might seem confusing that Fur would even choose to spam through that smoke, but it's been Get Right in ladder room this whole half going up against Fur, and going up against Phelps. So I imagine when Phelps goes down to Dennis, he's passing it along, like Get Right's probably there too.
Plus, when you've just got your opening pick, and you're down quite a few bullets, you're at your most vulnerable. That's where the avenging frags typically come in. So it's just intuition, instinct to
covering fire for yourself.
Exactly. Because he had no one else to help him out.
Well,
so
now that they've attacked the outer bomb site a number of times, they've had some success out there as well. This slows down the rotation of Fallen back towards the inner bomb site, so Taco is still alone there, where previously he's been joined up relatively quickly. If NIP find this timing, they're going to be blocked up by the smoke, and here's the tough part. They almost have to go now. The fact that there's so much silence outside, whereas in the last few rounds NIP's been aggressive and very, very violent in that area of the map, the fact that it's quiet is telling in and of itself.
Yeah, the guns certainly have been vocal outside, but now it's going to be inside. MIBR have a very different test to pass, and Rez will pass a bullet through the head of Fur. He does at least get one beforehand, but Phelps will go in with one of his own. Nearly a triple kill. It's just back and forth long range, and the Augs will just about outshine the AKs. And now Fallen gets up close. That's the bomb dropped as well. No plant for Dennis to try and defend. He's going to have to come out with raw frags, and Taco won't allow it to happen. MIBR doing such a good job of holding these sites.
The Molotov onto the bomb train, or the plant spot, was huge. It forced everyone from NIP who was grouped up there into the scopes of those Augs at long range, and that is just a very tough battle to win at the moment. And then the follow-up as well, a small mistake, I think, not just sucking it up and getting that plant down from Rez. He wanted to try and win the round, which you can understand why with the stakes of this match, but goes for the win, gets off the bomb, and they don't have the extra $800 to play with, so they'll only be able to bring an AK-47 on Get Right into the round, a Deagle, 2 CZs, and a Galil, and not a lot of nades. That extra $800 could have gone a long way. But as we mentioned, and as we saw earlier, NIP have been winning these kinds of rounds all tournament long. 6 rounds would be so good for the Ninjas. They're just gonna have to wait while the smokes fade and the choke point. So much utility for the MIBR side to stall this out.
Flash in to try and gain some ground on NIP, but Coldzera not budging a muscle, not an inch. Smoke afterwards, but he's going to be on the right side of the smoke, plus the Molotov. This could really bait Nip into a horrible spot. He goes down with a pop flash. There's 2. The bomb dropped alongside it, and down goes Forest Coldzera. Ice cold.
Really nice piece of teamwork. That pop flash made that so easy for Coldzera. Rez and Dennis, the only ones left, and they're gone very fast. We were wondering which MIBR we were going to get, and outside of a 3-round run for NIP in the middle of that half, it was dominance. MIBR looked good, but NIP, they did just enough off the back of Rez, 17 and 12 in his performance. NIP has a chance. We'll find out if they can take it in the second half. Stay tuned. Well, you know MIBR is playing well when you see Lurpus tweeting something positive. Obviously happy about that Cold Zera triple deagle. All 5 players for MIBR in double digits of this game. It's Rez at the top of the server, though. 17 and 12 for him, closely followed by Cold Zera at 16 and 8. That's a good half, 10-5. I think that's respectable for both sides of the map, and everyone's going to be pleased, and we might just have a grinded-out, duke-it-out game here.
We might, but someone needs to get a chiropractor for Rez, because his back is absolutely killing him. He's carrying hard right now. Someone needs to help him out. Yeah,
he's doing a lot of the work, isn't he? Which is good to see if you're NIP, just because they were so labored when he was having the tough time. Force is going to have a chance to get involved. He's been great, quiet first half, and he's going to get pinched from team mid. No one's watching that. He's down without a fight. And that's the thing. If you lose track of that one lane, things can go sideways real quick.
Fur's on an ace. He's picked up 4 kills already. He's looking to try and finish off with a Glock. Is he going to get it done? Yes, he will. Fur with a pistol ace. Right off the back in the second pistol round, and that's a round that Ninjas desperately needed. Yeah, no fear whatsoever from Fur. He gets down there so fast, and NIP just lost track of it. No one had eyes on it. That was such an aggressive run up Ivy that I think so much of Ninja's communication had to have been focused on that part of the map, and no one was able to cover the cross. Fur gets in for free, and he's just on a tear. That's a great follow-up shot onto Rez, and then he's cleaning things up for the rest of the way. He's got his broom out, sweeping them all into the frag department. Beautiful. 11-5 now. 5-10 is a good score. It hurts a little bit when you win the pistol and lose the second one, as NIP did in the first half. And they're not going to invest into this second round. They have 1 flashbang on Get Right. He's back deep in towards connector, so they're hoping that MIBR is going to do an aggressive play and try and take this outer bomb site. His flashbang can turn the tides, but all of NIP is actually going towards inner. The bomb is leading the way even. Taco's got that. UMP spray on the other side of the map. NIP may assume this is just a fake, but of course we have the benefit of knowing that's not the case. Cold Zera's going to show his hand, and the Brazilians move forward, stomp their way into a 12-5 lead. There is absolutely nothing for NIP to come back on this site with.
They probably shouldn't even be here.
Yeah, they're just feeding money at this stage.
Yeah, this bonus money from the SMGs can make it so difficult for them. Now, that's a good trade to stop that from happening, from stopping to, like, hemorrhage the gift of cash flow. But Phelps is still around with this MAC-10 coming in from the back, and they're sitting around waiting. Firing squad towards spawn ramp. Phelps is at old bomb. He's clearing the corners. He might just have a field day.
Yeah, this kind of range, the MAC-10. He's going to struggle to finish off all the players, but it's as if there's much firepower to counteract, and Cold Zera will be the last player to strike in the round. 12-5, 7-round lead, but as you said, it wasn't an investment, so NIP will now have enough to play with. Yeah, but they don't have a lot of rounds to play with. MIBR is just 4 away from taking this first map, and it's NIP's pick. So this is a pretty dangerous scenario for them. NIP need to get started right away. Again, much like the pistol, they're going to have no kits. All 5 NIP fans going for a chant. One per round. Yes. It's a sad day for NIP, isn't it?
Tough state of affairs.
I mean, they've got to get behind someone. We don't have any Polish teams, unfortunately.
That's true. And obviously, I think Polish fans are, with the fact that their teams and their stars here are such legendary players and historic players, I think it's pretty easy to get behind the NIP guys. NIP does have a very loyal fan base, which is cool. On the other hand, so do the Brazilians.
Oh, yeah. And MIBR definitely the premier Brazilian team.
I'll tell you what, though, Vince. I mean, jokes aside and everything, and fan bases aside, every team watching right now at this MIBR lineup is just no one wants them to hit that peak, to hit that mode where they know they can be dangerous. That could be a huge wrench into the rest of this tournament, into the rest of this major, if MIBR shows up in stellar form, or if they build up into it.
Yeah, I'd say they're not quite reaching maximum speed, but they're getting towards the right side.
They're going to get better as this event goes on. Qualifying here would be beautiful.
Taking into account that this is NIP's choice of map, if they can claim this one, they're one giant step forward.
Moving into Inferno, which hasn't been kind to them in the past, which didn't look very strong earlier in this event. So certainly you'd love to have that buffer and do a map that's been very hit or miss for you. You got bombed out by Cloud9 with 16-3, and they did end up beating G2 on it.
Yeah, I believe that was 16-12. So it's been a bit of an up and down affair on Inferno. That being said, the Cloud9 loss, that was the first game of the tournament for them, right?
First game of the year. First official game.
Oh yeah, that's a very good point. But also the first game of this event, so you can't really look into it a huge amount, I guess, and they could have learned a lot since then. And of course, we're talking about the next map, and the here and now, we've been kind of talking over this because not much has happened, and there's only 28 seconds left. MIBR need to get a move on. Phelps is still back towards T-spawns. This is going to be a 4-man push, and GetRight is going to oblige with a headshot from the AUG. There is smokes out. Galilvor weapons trades kills, but there's Forrest onto Phelps, who was the lurker, the flanker. The bomb has been planted. The player advantage rests on the Swede's shoulders.
No kits though, remember, Vince. This has got to be pretty fast. About a third of the way through this bomb timer, and NIP now starting to move. Rez is going to come in very, very late on the flank, and he might have to hustle a little bit. They can't hold out very long. This bomb timer deep into it, halfway touch now. Fallen, he's got to hold as long as he can. Checks the flank. Does he have the timing right? No, Rez and Lekro are going to combine to take him out, but they need to get on this plant. 3 players converging. Fur disappears into the smoke, but they saw him at the last second, and I think they should have this.
This is really close.
Oh, it all rides on this, Vince.
They
must have the defuse, and it's not going to be there. They are going to lose it just a half-second late. Heart-stopping moment for NIP, and heartbreaking now that it's come. 13-5 in the favor of MIBR. That hurts. Lekro can drop an M4 or an AUG over to a teammate, but for such a good retake, just that half-second off.
And that is the moment. And the reason why we always highlight no kits. Because that makes the difference. Now we're looking at 13-5. It should have been around for NIP. I believe they actually lost a couple players from the explosion as well, so in terms of their finances, it also dips down. I
think it's just the one player they lost, so it wasn't too bad, and you can see GetRight. God, we're going to miss his expressions at some point in the future. Hopefully far away.
You can see the effect it has, though. In terms of nades, Rez has nothing. 4 smokes, 3 flashes. With so much time in the hands of the Brazilians. And as a round they're going to look back on and grimace at. Yeah, Dennis, though, going to try and bounce back.
That's actually a super important round or a fight to win for Dennis. GetRight. Oh, he's got to be careful if he goes for this aggression. They might not expect it. He's dinked him, but he does fall. But he's got information. He sees at least 2 more. They haven't spotted the bomb. Fallen is there as well. Phelps also giving up any position outside. He was the flanker in the previous round, but NIP is remaining honest at this A site. It's only Dennis here at half HP. When does NIP get the memo to rotate someone inside? Smoke is about to clear. Rez is starting to cheat that way, and now he's committed.
Seems like MIBR have called the bluff somewhat. Seeing 2 players, maybe assuming Nip would expect the rotation. That's not going to happen. Here we go. All systems ahead. Can Dennis derail the Juggernaut? No. He goes down instantly. The bomb's going to get planted behind it. And at this stage, Ninja's Pajamas may think about saving. No, headshot could keep them interested, but that could be to their demise. Taco finds Rez. Is 2 weapons enough to work off? No. NIP want to go for this. The red mist has descended. They feel like there's some light at the end of the tunnel. Forrest round the backside. Going to mitigate Fur. But there's a Molotov in play.
There's a smoke as well.
They have the counter to the Molotov. It's going to go down into the smoke, and in amongst it now, Forrest is going to go for the defuse. He does have a kit, but there's Phelps. Sprays him down. That should be the round over. Lekro has to turn tail and run, and MIBR will have a 14-5 lead.
Phelps wants this last gun. Oh, and he didn't spot Lekro going on the upper ramp. I think he wanted to try and find the AWP, but I think it's just too far out of his grasp. 14-5. Still, though, I mean, it's been costly for MIBR to win these rounds, and they're going to be fine with it just because they're so close to victory, just 2 rounds away in this opening map. And this is one of those weird maps where I almost want to make the argument that it's not as much of a blowout as it seems. Obviously, in this second half, you know, just if that defuse comes through, if they have a kit, or if they get on the bomb just a little bit earlier, if that retake's just a tad bit faster, then this can be completely different. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. 14-5. A statement from MIBR in this opening map.
A statement that all of the teams will heed, but maybe the Swedes can still somehow, someway carve a way back into this, but now it's MIBR. The ebb and flow of this round is going in favor of the Brazilians. They're looking to surf the wave to victory at this stage. Fallen, not going to be deterred by the grenade. One of the last two nades in possession of NIP. Did GeTRight just spot it?
I think they both spotted each other, but GeTRight wanted to be the aggressor, and he kind of peered over towards T-mid, hoping that Fallen wasn't going to come back, and he did. This is so much time for MIBR in this 2-on-2 to just sit around, and now they know where Dennis is. Dennis has to get aggressive, has to try and catch him off guard, cannot just sit in place, holding the angle with that AUG. Double peek from Fallen, shows they work around, and there's a great shot. Quad kill for Fallen in the round. Smiles and high fives all over the place, 15-5. And MIBR hasn't even had to reach deep into the strat book, because every single round they've played on this T side, they've been abusing the fact that NIP, with very little money to spend, have not had the utility to slow them down at the start. They get out so fast. This is just a rush towards that outer bomb site, and there's no smokes, there's no flashes or anything. That's exactly what MIBR wants. They want all of their players to just be able to swing along that wall and take those long-range fights with the AK-47. And again,
it's a scary look, isn't it, Moses? How well MIBR are playing, how confident they feel.
No, but I mean, we know these guys are going to be very good individually, especially when they have the momentum of the game, and that's what I mean by they haven't had to reach into the strat book. NIP hasn't been able to contend with them on this CT side, so MIBR is just more than content to ride the fact that they're on a huge win streak. They're playing loose, playing confident. It's only when NIP can prove that they can stop them with what little that they have and stop them consistently that things might get dicey.
Well, this is a round where MIBR may need to pull out a play of the book, or perhaps not. Dennis forfeits his own life for some information. GeTRight pops up, finds the head, and retreats into the shadows on the B side. Forrest has been found, but so has Fallen. That's a horrible spot for the bomb to drop down to. And Fur, who's already in a bit of trouble, on 41 health, is now going to try and clutch this. He'd love to have a smoke, but instead has a molly, flash, and nade.
It's everything but. One nice shot into GeTRight. Rez is outside looking for the flank, so that bomb for the moment can be picked up, and there's the spot. But that shot gives away. Rez is on his way back. This would have to be something special. Here he comes, wants to get the bomb, and just bam, he's gotten it. They're spamming through, they tag him up just a little bit more, but still, now NIP has to split. That makes it easier. Smart play from Fur to at least get into the bomb site. If he gets a plant, it could all change, but GeTRight shuts him down. 3 kills for GeTRight. NIP's on the board in this second half, but they've got to go. They've got to win 9 straight.
Even though Fur lost that round, and played it so well, in the end, if he connects that headshot, oh boy,
yeah,
NIP are in trouble.
And then it goes. I mean, that's the cool thing about picking up that bomb and just going up. He does it fast enough with enough time on the clock that Rez has to be respecting the fact he can still go outside. So it splits the defense one more time, gives him a one-on-one wherever he decides to go. GeTRight just comes out on top of it.
So in terms of round 22, it is going to be an investment all with the scout round the corner. Oh, and it couldn't have been a worse adversary. As far as they're concerned, it's that Starman and Forrest has been put down. Really, only Rez has been outperforming him.
Fallen is so dirty. That's not the Fallen that you want to have to play against.
It was one of the win conditions, wasn't it, on the desk?
Yes.
Have Fallen perform. Safe to say, he has been so far. May not be done just yet either with the scout. Oh no, Nip. Fur with a drive-by headshot, the Desert Eagle, not even taking a single bullet of damage.
They're just exuding confidence at this moment. And they don't even have utility to execute any kind of a set piece, so they're relying on these kinds of picks. NIP, still a decent chance to win this round. They're gambling towards the inner bomb site, though. That's a big kill from Rez. But equally, that lets Fallen know exactly where he is. Fallen needs to pass the bomb over so he can stay at range with his scout and cover his teammates. This might be the last position that NIP is going to expect it. Rez is aware of the possibility, gets into safety, but that'll yield the bomb plant.
20 seconds though, Moses. MIBR have got to start moving in.
Surely they saw him.
Have now. Barrel the gun sticks round. Fallen finds his second scout frag. Is this the beginning of the end for Nippon Train? Lecro and Get Right will do their utmost best to make sure it's not the case. Please clear spot from behind the M4A1S from Coldzera. Will pounce on Lecro. And Get Right finds himself in quite the predicament. Not able to get it done, and Coldzera finally does, but he's lost half of his health, and the rest has been taken away from Fallen comes full circle. MIBR in style takedown Train.
Now that is what Brazilian Counter-Strike looks like. We've been waiting for its appearance in this event, and finally it shows up. 23 kills on Fur, an ace in the pistol round, 20 on Coldzera. Fallen just dominant with the scout. You can't argue with that scoreline. 16-6 is the opening map. We're going to head to a break. When we come back, the desk is going to have a chat about the game.
Jason over on the casting desk said Brazilian Counter-Strike has finally arrived. We've been waiting for it all major long, and it arrives when the crunch time arrives too. We've got ourselves a big one. Now NIP on the back foot, and if they want to secure a spot in the champion stage, they're going to have to reverse sweep an MIBR who looked comfortable on train. I'm joined by Sean Gers and Pimp. And gents, let's think about this one. You gave me win conditions, and Sean, not all of them were met. They did get the T rounds you requested, though.
They got the 5 that I requested. They tried to hit the inner bomb site a lot on Taco, but they were not successful, actually. Hardly at all throughout that game. They blew so many rounds, though, NIP, throughout this game. Yes, I thought MIBR would take the map, but I didn't expect NIP to lose 2 ecos, to lose that T-pistol to a Fur Ace. And then that bomb site, the inner bomb site where the bomb blows up with 3 people still alive because there's no kit. There's just so many mishaps that went on in the NIP camp.
I think the scoreline should have been closer, as you're alluding to as well. I think MIBR were in the driver's seat. I think they were the better team. The individuals stepping up as well, having Fur coming back alive. You know, Jason said the Brazilian CS is back. Fur is back, being very aggressive, being very impactful. So that was good to see. But I think, as you said, it should have been a much closer game. NIP kind of dropped the ball.
Yes, I definitely think MIBR were the better team here, but yeah, you have to look at 4 different rounds that NIP blew throughout this game that it could have made it way closer. Yeah, and also on the docket, you guys listed 2 players. Rez, Forest have to perform well. Jacob, I believe they were at the tip of your tongue for MIBR. As in, if they can't shut down Forest and Rez, you've got yourself a problem. Well, Forest, the unlucky number 13 next to his kill count, that just simply isn't what you requested.
No, and I think that's the first time in this whole major we see him fall a little bit flat. I think the most impressive thing about Forest so far in this tournament has been the consistency coming out of him. This is the first time we see him not really having an impact on the game, and that is also kudos to MIBR, because as you said, they were able to shut him down. They didn't give him any easy kills or any easy openings. So in that regard, they did everything they needed to. Rez has a decent game, but alone, without a second fragger with him, there's not much to do when you're facing a Fallen and a Cold Zero that is firing on all cylinders.
And that makes me happy. Fallen on top of the scoreboard alongside Fur. That is a sign of good times for all of you fans of MIBR. In fact, Fallen actually gave an interview in between map 1 and 2. We get an opportunity to hear from the in-game leader of the MIBR squad. Much love to Fallen there for taking the time in a very intense game of Counter-Strike. It is important to keep your head in the game, and he makes that clear, as does Frankie, by asking a little bit more about that aggressiveness, this dynamic side of MIBR that we are seeing more and more of as this major continues. And Jacob, you were telling me you have a way to break all that down and get to show us some of that dynamic.
I have something on the Telestrator that I would like to show you guys out there, because I do feel that MIBR is going back to the ways they were playing back when they were good. If we have this clip, it starts out with me showing that they have 4 guys towards outside. Now, this is in the beginning of the round. This makes sure that if NIP is able or wants to do a quick outside push, MIBR has 4 players located towards that outside to deal with that. So they're making sure that they're not being surprised or caught off guard. Now, if we clear the screen and let the clip play out, you can quickly see how much they're moving around the map. They're not static, but they're very dynamic in the way they approach the CT side. You can see Cold Zero moving around now, going back towards Ivy. And if you stop it right here, you can see how they're spread out on the map. Cold Zero is currently towards Ivy. You have Fallen in a very upfront position position with the AVP. Fer is sort of like a backup guy rotator who can quickly go towards inside if he wants to, but also is a backup player. So if we clear the screen again, you can see how that actually plays out. NIP obviously opts to go towards Ivy, and this is where it becomes interesting because Fallen is very aggressive with the AVP. He's in a demanding position. You can see him being posted up here, spotting towards Ivy. And I believe if we just skip this one where nothing is really happening, in a second the NIP players will come out of Ivy, and this is where the MIBR players are playing off each other. They're refragging. They're playing sort of like together. You can see Fallen getting the first frag here in Ivy and a few... play out the clip. There we go. That'll be better.
I was staring at like that feels like a very, very long angle.
There we go. Fallen getting the frag, Fer getting the refrag. You know, always this trade potential coming in. Fer get the second one, Fallen get the third one towards Pop, and all of a sudden, the only thing Coldzera has to do is push a smoke and get an easy kill in the back of an NIP player. This all comes down from the fact that they're being dynamic, they're rotating around the map, and Fallen is comfortable being this up close with the AVP. Not a lot of players can do that, but Fallen is in particular very good at it.
Yeah, incredible stuff. I'm looking forward to it more on Inferno. We don't have too long. But that MIBR lost to Cloud9. Fallen's writing it off. Are you?
I think I'm going to write it off as well, actually, Alex. I think they're better on Inferno than I initially thought after that Cloud9 game, and I said that when they played G2, right? The Cloud9 game, they had a very similar half to what we saw to NIP just now. They kept getting reset time and time again, 3 different times throughout that half. And versus G2, we saw them get 70 rounds out of the 13 that they were able to play. So I think their T side's much better, and I know their CT side's good.
I think what we've seen from MIBR and Inferno so far as a 7-3 game as well hasn't been that impressive. It's still a little bit of a question mark for me. I think Coldzera was a big factor in that win against G2. Without him, they would probably have lost that game. He was being very demanding, very impactful, had a great showing with the Deagle, a great showing in the clutches, but without him, that would have been a problem for them. Now, coming into this one, they were looking very strong on train, so I do think MIBR, as you said, they may be better than we initially think, but there's still a little bit of a question mark surrounding them. Can they take this one, though? A 2-0 victory against NIP convincingly, then I think that's MIBR entering the tournament for real.
It would be such a tall task, not forgetting their only wins so far. Complexity, G2, a different kettle of fish now, the Swedes against the ropes. Ninjas in Pajamas, MIBR on Inferno. Back to Moses and Vince.
The only thing standing between MIBR and a playoff spot at IEM Katowice is their own demons on Inferno and a little bit of nip magic. We know the Ninjas are never completely out of the fight. Rez gonna take up position on this pistol, but there is one lying in wait. Phelps in this left corner. Yeah, right. There's the flashbang. Oh, he mistimed his peek, but he should be able to recover, but he just doesn't want to risk it all. I don't mind that decision to fall back whatsoever from Get Right, even though it seemed he had the advantage.
It'd be disappointing though, because he could have had the kill.
Yes.
Which would have been a fantastic start so early on. Only got 6 rounds on train, their choice. Confidence building for MIBR. And all 5 players stacking up for a potential B rush. At this stage again, you're always a bit cognizant of a potential push down mid from the CTs. He may have to get a bit of a move on. They've also used all of their grenades. Here we go. They're going straight in for the jugular. Get Right with a CZ up close. And he's already used quite a few of his bullets. Needs to be careful, but he has Rez just behind him and the bomb's just been dropped out. Here comes Get Right from below. But Fer, the main man, the top fragger in the previous map, is going to be able to deliver a headshot alongside Phelps. And now NIP have got to somehow try and muster their way back into construction, and Phelps is not allowing it to come to fruition. Lekro, last standing Swede, has been swept aside, and MIBR will win another pistol round.
That is so well done from MIBR. Not a bad hold whatsoever from the Ninjas initially, but I mean that position from Phelps. 2 stunning shots on Force, an immediate kill. He didn't have a chance to respond, and then just tapping away at a very narrow angle on Dennis. This follow-up right here is so brutal. Dennis is probably frustrated with that one. Didn't even get a chance. You have to imagine NIP looked at that Inferno game against Cloud9, even though it was a blowout, and saw MIBR loves using that smoke, that very close smoke at the front of the bomb site, using it to attack towards CT spawn, using it to plant into it, a double nade. A preemptive double nade. And that's Rez out of the fight.
The nuclear warhead lands right next to him.
Let's think, because we casted that match. That smoke was something that MIBR used frequently at this B bomb site, but also remember, their T-side was so slow. They ran out of a lot of time. A little bit of team damage, I think, is going to help Get Right find that kill. But the round is lost. That's something we're going to have to keep our eye on moving forward. The T-side that they played on Inferno at the start of this event was like trying to attack bomb sites with like 15 seconds left, and it was just falling flat. MIBR cannot fall into that trap. But you also have to say, this is a... I mean, that MIBR we saw in train is not one we saw in the opening game.
Absolutely not. And it's a really good point that you raise. It was so tentative, it was almost scared. That's how it felt.
That's how Taco phrased it as well. We were very nervous heading into that match against Cloud9, which is an interesting way to phrase it as well.
And it really showed.
Yes.
It really did. But that train T-side seemed like everything had been brushed aside. And after such a dominant performance, that's definitely not going to hurt matters when it comes to confidence and how you feel.
No, yeah, that train performance really, I think, is gonna help a lot of doubters kind of, you know, it's gonna help assuage them a little bit, just because you had Fur being that aggressive front line, you had, you know, Fallen, Taco playing, you know, pretty just solid Counter-Strike in their positioning and their movement, their ability to trade. Coldzera was solid as a rock, and obviously Phelps an aggressive lurk style that he likes to play, so everything kind of worked out on Train. We'll see if that stands here on Inferno. As I mentioned, their own demons, it's been an up and down affair for MIBR on this map. We all know they've struggled on it historically and haven't looked great on it at other times.
But as Fallen said in the interview, they're 1-1 for the tournament, off the back of a win against G2. In terms of statistics, they were very good on Train. Rez going to find some information for himself.
Smart play, whoever that was at Logs, though, saw that jump from Rez and just bailed out of Logs, knowing that's just a nade trap, and they respond in kind. Phelps dealing massive utility damage.
Yeah, that's going to put Nip on the back foot. They can't afford to hang around too much longer at the top of Banana.
And again, pretty aggressive openings to this round in this first gun round of Inferno. We saw it on Train. MIBR never had to slow down, but also knowing here that NIP doesn't have all the Molotovs you could possibly want, all the nades you could possibly want for Banana to really take that fight for an extended period. And this is a lot of pressure being applied on it. Get right out of nades, Rez out of nades. Those are the two defenders, and not even a budge from the guys at the A bomb site.
They may even think about saving if this site gets taken really quickly. Get right with the Orc. Going to go down alongside Rez. This is where I feel Nip probably should pull the plug and just get the hell out of there.
Flashbangs going around the two Mac, or behind the two Mac 10s, I should say. Taco and Fur both looking into the bomb sites. The flashbang blow up behind them, so as soon as Rez swings to take that first fight, he's half blind, and I think that was I think it was Fur that just got past him. So he was actually aiming at someone who doesn't even care that he was there. Fully exposed to his teammates. And now the hunt is on. MIBR can afford to give away all these guns in searching down the weapons of NIP. It doesn't matter how many they lose.
Especially the SMGs. They had 3 or 4 in this round. UMP alongside Electro. Double team by Fallen and Fur, and all the guns have been taken away. This is a brutal start for Nip.
MIBR is ruthless right now.
They really are. I mean, you look at it, feels to me like Fur's been unlocked. Like this is his full potential starting to come to the surface.
Yeah, he does seem to be playing at a pretty crazy high level, doesn't he?
He's 110.5 ADR with a 1.6 rating on Train.
I think it's just the fact that he's willing to be so aggressive, which we've been missing from his play at some point. And I mean, on this, you can criticize it as you want, because he's been doing it for a while, and I think teams are starting to have gotten used to it. On the CT side, it sometimes struggles, but here on the T side, when he's just wreaking havoc being this aggressive, it's really difficult to deal with.
Whereas for the Swedes, really the only shining light was Rez. And he is the first player to fall in this round, albeit with pistols.
Fell early in the last round as well, double nade, or 2 rounds ago, I should say. So CZ's a P250, or 1 CZ, a P250, and 2 Deagles. But all on his own is Electro. Force can get there quick, but this kill might come out way too fast. Yeah, Force can't even respond. There's the peak. He's got a little bit of damage. He wanted to complete the kill. Not given that opportunity, and Get Right is the sole player left.
So a question, Moses.
Yes, sir.
Is this MIBR just playing lights out, or is this Nip also struggling?
I think it's... I'm going to put it mostly in the MIBR playing lights out category. I mean, they survived some pretty heavy pressure from NIP on Train in the early stages of their defensive half, when NIP was playing the economy game and really applying pressure to it. I think the one thing you can say is that Forrest hasn't been at the level we expect from him. I have to imagine Train is his first map where he would have a negative HLTV rating of the whole event, because he's been positive this entire time.
Yeah, it was 0.78 to be precise, so 65.6 ADR, which, I mean, for most players, that's forgivable, but the way he's been playing it really is the outlier. It really does stand out.
Force is one of those players who gets punished a little bit by how good he is because everyone expects excellence out of him.
Yes, I feel like that's the same kind of thing that Simple's been falling into this event. He hasn't really had any crazy performances. He's just kind of been going under the radar a little bit.
Well, I think that flashbang actually stopped that MIBR player from swinging out right into the crosshair. I think Lecro had that gauged perfectly. Pop flash through the smoke. Lecro's gonna get one. How can he get a second follow-up? He's trapped though, and he's got to fight to his death. MIBR have stopped the bleeding, but there's only one defender here. This is a counter call. MIBR's abused the B bomb site, and they assumed correctly that NIP would stack it at the early stage of these rounds, and they found a way to get into this bomb site. Force is all alone. So many different choke points he has to watch as his teammates who have rotated are smoked over, and he just has no idea. There's that aggressive lurk up lane from Phelps.
Yeah, this A-site infection is spreading. And Nip not really in a good enough position to realistically fend it off. Then he's going to decide to relocate. 5 ADR so far in this. And he is joined by Rez. They realistically have a shot at clutching this. That's got to be going through the back of their minds at this stage. 2-on-3, very difficult site to retake with a lack of utility. They've got a kit, but that's pretty much it. Smoke gets tossed out. It's going to quad off one side of the site, but now they've got to deal with Pit. They've got to deal elsewhere. The likes of Apps, not going to happen. They walk into their death, ultimately, in MIBR. 5-0 lead on the T half.
I think that attempted retake right there shows a little bit of desperation on the side of NIP, that they're feeling a lot of pressure from this onslaught that NIP has placed on them, even extending back towards train. They really didn't have a whole lot of tools to use to get in there, and obviously you never want to go down 0-5 on the CT side of Inferno. They really, really wanted to make that work. The Nip magic has not arrived yet.
Brutal thing is, and we did touch on this a couple of times, and more people are noticing it, Dennis has had a rough tournament. He had 35 ADR on the last map. I think he's got like 4 or 5 on this one.
Still early. We'll see that rise. We'll see that get up there.
They're going to need him, especially after this start from the Brazilians. Some banana presence has been put down and forced from Get Right. But the Brazilians are looking to acquire the A side of the map. Forrest able to drill into Taco, but Fur from the side, he's going to get one back. Coldzera shutting down what remains of the A side of the map, and now that, well, Get Right and Rez again, familiar territory. Another retake, this time with just pistols.
What a good mix of aggression, though, from MIBR. Even in the gun rounds, that's only against pistols, but even in that previous round, in that 3-on-2, how aggressively they got up mid, and then once they get the bomb planted, everyone goes back to just really solid fundamental Counter-Strike, giving up no mistakes. Coldzera being very vocal. It's interesting. We saw on Train NIP win the first pistol round and then call a timeout. They're now down 6-0, and they haven't called a timeout quite yet.
Yeah, you'd think that they'd at least pull a trigger one time this early on, just try and salvage this half.
This is on the verge of spiraling completely out of control. We saw NIP do this kind of banana take as well, where they set up 2 Molotovs and banana that can trap players and funnel them into a position for Get Right to be the aggressor. But, you know, the smoke coming out from MIBR has kind of slowed that down. Now the fire has faded, and Get Right, that's a fight he might not want to be involved in, but I take it back. 4 kills for Get Right and Rez. Great sequence. MIBR put on the back foot for the first time in this game.
And that's the kind of play that can really spur on the rest of the team. Can Taco take the wind out the sails, though? Nip in desperate need of motivation, inspiration.
And money. It all comes down to money, Vince.
Taco, Molotov in hand. Still plenty of time. Just under a minute. Did isolate the 2 ninjas in Banana, but now a third has joined them. Sprayed, connects onto Forrest, who peeks by himself. Taco is low, but he's doing so much work in this round. He's going to go down, but 2 kills there is significant.
And now NIP have to build upon that round. They're going to have to drop a couple guns over, as you said. Yeah, that is beautiful. Good coordination between Get Red and Rez. We've seen them do a pretty solid job in Banana all through this event when we've seen them on Inferno. Obviously here has been a rough start. We'll see if they can stabilize. That's a battle that's going to be fought frequently.
Agent Dennis has joined us.
I always wanted to be a secret agent when I grew up. So, fair play. Here we go again, towards Banana. Smoke deep for NIP, Molotovs as well, but Rez is taking too much nade damage. They can't possibly fight for that. Get Right has to back away because Rez will not want to be aggressive. Surely they don't extinguish that and go through it. More nades towards mid, so... Oh, heavy nades towards mid. Fur is put back, so maybe his aggression will be tempered in this round. This is a pretty even affair in an all-important round 8, where NIP must win it to stabilize.
This is one of the main ways that Cloud9 really punctured down MIBR. Their grenade use was absolutely spot on when they played each other. HE's constantly landing in the face of these pushes. Maybe a way for Nip to claw the way back in is to stall the engages, slow this down a little bit. Yet right now I'm going to take the same position that Rez did in the round prior. Yield them 4 kills, but he is by himself. Now Rez is making a move on 33 health. Oh no. Get Right may get stuck. He's worried about Molotovs and flashbangs, so he's going to stand his ground. How many players can he take with him? 1, and he's able to escape. That kill bought him up enough time to retreat.
I was so worried there. I thought Get Right was going to get eliminated. I thought he was hoping for a flashbang, which Rez did not have. Here's Lekro, misses the opportunity. He's going to be smoked out this time. Such low HP inside the site. Great counter flash is going to slow things down. There's no peek from Rez. He's too low, but he's got 1 from Fountain. And Lekro coming through. They don't expect it. He's got a double with the AUG. And Fur's left to clutch.
Gonna re-smoke CT. Will be able to get the bomb planted. With just 29 health, though, if he crosses, he could end up getting killed from the spray. It's something, of course, the CTs are going to go for. With Forrest and Dennis both healthy, it's hard to see a way out for Fur here. He's just double-checking, making sure no one's down Banana, so he can focus his attention onto the B side, CT and Construction, respectively. He's got a flashbang. This is going to take something truly special for Fur to clutch. There's plenty of money, he may as well go for it. There's the flash, spray through, but Forrest is going to land the shot. Only needed 1, and it was pretty close to detonating there, actually, as well. So if Fur lands that first frag, the round could have gone his way.
Yeah, that could have been another disaster for NIP with the bomb. That one on Train is really kind of what put the nail in the coffin. 6-2, that's a good recovery. Not a bad defense whatsoever. Rez is having a really uncomfortable time at this B bomb site. He's taken nade damage. He's been eliminated on the save rounds. That round he's initially naded to below half health. He comes back to assist Get Right, eats a little bit more nade damage. Still able to do some work. But NIP not out of the woods just yet. This is kind of like a mirror match of what happened on Train. NIP trying to apply economic pressure on their offensive side to the MIBR defense on Train. Here it's MIBR who are just saying, we have so much cash built up, we can continue to buy. And even if we don't win these rounds, having you on the verge of being reset is effective in itself. And MIBR has been so successful. They won such clean rounds early, and they've been getting the bomb plants throughout these 2 losses. Cold Zera buys and he still has 7,000. Fur's got another buy behind him, so does Fallen. Taco and Phelps are pretty much right there as well, so NIP, they need to win 2 in a row now to take this money away. They have to climb all the way back in the hardest way imaginable.
While at the same time maintaining their own economy, making sure that doesn't slide away. Rez gonna take Fallen's life. Nade damage again on point. There's so many weakened players in Banana. Limping their way up there. Fur, Cold Zera, both a bullet away from death. But they haven't moved from Banana. It looks like they are going to still engage.
If Lekro only had an HE. He's got a Molotov, which could be so important. They can't run through any flames. Oh, great bait from Taco. Smoke's going to come down from Lekro. They might just go through it. It looks like they want to, but the HP... Oh, I think because it's extinguished, that's going to convince them. And first gun, or through. That's Phelps, excuse me. He's now down. Lekro can hold the line a little bit longer. Taco's got to take all the fights. Now they're all low. A very doable retake for NIP.
That grenade could finish off Fur, and indeed it does. With Taco and Cold Zera both a gust of wind away from death. You'd fancy Forrest and Dennis to clutch this. Surely this is their moment. Surely this is their time to get 3 in a row. Down goes Taco. Cold Zera. Similar situation to Fur. Similar HP to Fur. Spins across. Can't connect on either head. And that's going to be all she wrote for round 9, with the Ninjas taking a 3rd for themselves. But again, it's another bomb plant and defuse.
Another bomb plant defuse, another 3 players gone. Thankfully, NIP, because they have, I mean, they're just barely hanging on in terms of being able to drop weapons and still have the nades picked up. The nades have been doing so much work for them in Banana, even when they're not winning the fights cleanly. Making for some easy cleanups at times. Taco had to be the aggressor in every situation there, and he almost pulls it off for MIBR. Another buy in this round for the Brazilian side, and there'll be another buy in the next round, so just not needing to save whatsoever must feel so good for them.
It's going to feel pretty good for the Swedes, though. Another opening pick and more nade damage. So MIBR keep posturing on the banana. At what point do they decide, okay, look, this isn't working anymore? It's getting a bit stale. Dennis on quad, needs to establish the crossfire. A little bit too slow to save Lecro's life, but at least stymies the push. Smokeout 2 is going to delay even longer. Forrest with a spray connects onto Fallen. This is looking much, much better for NIP.
Get Right and Rez have done a great job at Banana. Their teammates over at A, all completely blind, but Cold Zera can't find him. That's awkward. Looked a little bit weird. That's not where he wanted to land. Not where he wanted his aim to be when he landed, and now a double peek. Get Right finishes it off. A double kill for him, a double kill for Forrest. Finally, NIP can feel a little bit more comfortable. I think, to answer your question, MIBR is okay with that kind of Banana presence. I think they want to maintain that throughout, because remember, just a few rounds into the game after they'd wanted to be bomb set a couple times, NIP stacked Banana, and they just did a knockout punch up A. Right through the smoke, they just pop flashed it, and even though it was a grinded out round, it was effective in getting them into the site and putting them in a position to win. But now, due to a clean win, perhaps, MIBR does kind of lessen that pressure on Banana early on. They say, all right, now we're pretty confident you're going to have all the nades and all the Molotovs. But the other thing this is gonna do to NIP is they're going to use so many nades in Banana early on. Rez threw his last piece of nade right there. So did Get Right. Neither of them have anything to use for the mid or late rounds.
Plus, once the smoke clears, they know MIBR are still going to have a buy, so you can't really stay at the bottom of Banana. Flashbang neutralizes you, can get Molotovs onto logs, onto the close right side, the alcove.
Yeah, they've kind of, that attack on Banana every single round has really shattered the discipline of Rez and Get Right in terms of their utility. Even some of those flashbangs that are thrown, that last one that Lecro threw, they weren't even using it for anything. It was just like, I'm going to throw this flashbang just to keep MIBR scared. Taco. Not expecting 2 players to be holding over towards Halls. But that information at least allows Fur to make the aggressive play. And now MIBR, 3 players head over towards Banana to exploit the lack of nades.
This could come down to Fur's timing. If he can peek out and keep Get Right into Arch side, the lack of utility is going to be a burden. He hasn't pushed just yet. Flashbang used... But actually, Rex Dennis, Cold Zera just sprays through the smoke. Rez taking a bit of burn damage too. I'm pretty sure they heard that. They know he's towards the back side of the site somewhere. It's just about finding out where. Get Right, though, will pierce through the smoke, finds himself a kill. Lecro traded out. A 3-on-3. But now the Ninja's actually pulling Get Right back. I think they assumed this was some kind of a fake, and it's going to cost them dearly. Forrest is stuck in library. He can't do anything.
That is so sick from MIBR. What a nasty round. Rez even gets baited out of his position. With the time running down, he makes that play because he sees that smoke that we talked about early on that MIBR has been loving to throw in the front of the bomb site. They planted in it a number of times against Cloud9, and Rez just spams it, hoping to get the planter when he hears that click. Gives up his position, and then he's the freest of kills for an MIBR that hit the pause button. And that's some of the crazy discipline we've lacked out of this Brazilian team for a long time. Their ability to run the clock down. Not before they make a hit, but trusting that they'll eventually be able to secure the bomb site. Much different from just waiting far back passively, not even attacking a bomb site until 18 seconds. This one, they get the bomb site and let the clock run down before making their move.
It really is a balancing act. We've seen 2 very opposite sides of that. The Cloud9 performance, way too slow. shooting themselves in the foot. This time around, that was slick. Very well played indeed, and MIBR regain their winning way. 7-4, already 7 rounds in the T half.
It's great. They're so happy, and I mean, part of it is they haven't had to save. Even during NIP winning 4 in a row, they got 2 plants during that stretch, and they had so much money built up that they could buy everything they wanted through a losing bonus, or through the losing streak. Makes it so difficult for the defense where you never get a reprieve from the pressure. NIP has bended. They haven't broken yet. But they're on the verge of it. I think this round, if MIBR wins it and NIP cannot buy in the next, they're just going to run the score up.
Well, MIBR looking to snap onto A. Heavy presence from the counter-terrorists here, though. Swedes have 3 players on this site, with Rez watching Arch. So this leaves Get Right alone with the UMP, so he could feel a little bit vulnerable over that. But Rez now going to have a look towards Arch. Is he going to peek? Could this just come down to timing? Could this entire round rest on his shoulders? Perhaps so. He's going to back away, though. Molotov out. Fur is going to go straight in. He can sense weakness, but decides better of it because he knows there's a crossfire established. Lekro gets 2 with an MP9 of all weapons, but now it's going to start to bounce back in the favor of MIBR. Dennis on an island all alone. He is marooned on A site, and he's been found and fragged, leaving Rez now with the weight of the world on his shoulders, and he will crumble.
That's the kind of pressure you like to see Fur applying. Running in through the archway, showing presence, acting like he's going to chase down the kill and backing up when the fight isn't in his favor. That halts the rotation entirely. Get Right realizes the danger Dennis is in and is just trying desperately to get to him to be able to provide some kind of support. And Fur's just waiting. 15 kills, 14 on Cold Zera, over 100 ADR for the both of them.
You're saying that the ninjas were bending, but they hadn't broke just yet. Well, I think we've reached that point, Moses.
Yeah, they just snapped like a twig.
Under the foot of Made in Brazil. Play stacked up mid. Lekro. echo momentarily. But the backup is maybe misplaced. Get Right's getting a lot of information. So the team could pivot off this. UMP long range finds Coldzera, and now they are going to move in on A instead.
And we'll see, remember, I mean, MIBR back on train in that first half, they were ruthless in hunting down guns. We'll see if NIP wants to play that same style, that shock and awe. Get Right's got position to allow his teammates to come. He's cleared out CT spawn, so he at least has that portion of the map safe, which means his teammates can get close enough to hunt down these weapons if they want. Rez starting to move across the map as well in those halls. Dennis peering down mid. And plenty of time still if they want to commit to that. But too spread out to really go for any kind of deep dive into this B bomb site. Get Right starting to lurk up now. Forrest is coming to join. Rez is going to be at the base of Banana where he might be Fallen. That might be the next battle, and Fallen spotted some.
Oh, that's money in the bank. They're not going to mind that at all. Money towards his AWP fund, but Get Right's going to find him in the backside there. So, no! He actually did get the kill. I thought he'd been denied just beforehand, so they at least take the weapons away. But it was a little bit scrappier than the Swedes would have liked. That's
going to be fine, though, because it makes them feel much better about this round. You know that MIBR, there's not enough money on the CT side, only 2 rounds in, for them to reinvest in those deagles, so they just wanted to make sure that... And remember, Coldzera on train had a triple kill with a deagle that stopped them in their tracks. They don't want that to happen again. Even just one deagle can be dangerous. So it's just a P250 and a flashbang in Taco's hands.
And with a bar like this, you'd expect to have a stack, and we're going to see it happen. Flashbang in mid doesn't really affect Lecro at all. And Rez able to tag team him in with the UMP. Get Right knows one to the left, so no longer a surprise. Fallen's the only player that has bounced back with a kill, but it looks like that will be the only endeavor that MIBR find in round 18.
Cheeky little shoulder peek from Coldzera, just to spot if they're coming up mid or not, so he knows exactly their distance, so he knows exactly when to call for that flashbang. And yeah, just kind of, maybe not the flashbang they necessarily designed in theory, as it didn't blind the players on the right side of mid, from their perspective. But we're all tied up, Vince. 9-9 into the first gun round. Fallen has the AWP in a smoke. He's going to take that towards the B bomb site. He's playing with Fur, who's got an HE grenade. They don't have the Molotovs to really do too much. And how do they want to stop this? Fallen going to go for the peak. He's going to go aggressive. He wants to set the tone early, and he's got the angle very, very quick. NIP have to be careful about how they attack Banana if they go back to it all in this round. Phelps is the only one playing in mid right now. He's in cubby. He's joined up by Fur just at the right moment. Could be a slaughter. They're not going to check this, and there's even a third player at the corner. Brilliant rotations from MIBR. Still a chance for Nip, and Forrest is going to open it up.
Coldzera did see both players, so now they know they can stay in position. Fallen may need to make a move up. He does have the AWP though, of course. So at range, if NIP try to back away through mid, he will have them dead to rights. But they're going to decide to buckle down. They're going for the A plan. Lecro in good position is going to get one, and now it's down to Fallen. The in-game leader, the AWPer. He's pulled off some miracle plays on this very map with the AWP in past.
I think it's a little too early for him to risk the AWP unless someone from NIP was going to make a mistake and actually push into it, so he's just going to back off. They want to have one weapon in the next round, but that's a great opening by NIP. They encountered a lot of resistance in mid, 3 players on Rap side, and they're able to take them all out. Brilliant shot by Forrest. That third player swings out wide. And the exact point he wanted, so NIP take the lead. As shocking as that may sound after watching the first half, NIP looking to force a third map.
Considering it was 6-0 after MIBR won the first pistol round, and then at one stage was 9-4. The fact that we are even in a position where NIP are leading is testament to how awesome this comeback has been. It's 6 rounds in a row if you consider the last 2 went in the previous half to the Swedes now. What a turnaround.
You mentioned that everyone, you know, Forrest had an amazing event so far, but everyone else had stepped up. Rez was coming alive, but like Lecro had his moments. He's having another one of them here. 18 and 13, leading the way of the server. So the AWP in Fallen's hands. A half buy behind it. They've got 4 smokes left, so they can play some delay tactics. NIP is going to have to apply some pressure to force those out early in the round. But if Fallen can rotate into the right position when needed, the op combined with the Deagles could be so deadly. Phelps has the CZ that's over at the A bomb site. NIP's going to wait for some counter utility.
Fur and coldzera need to hold the line. coldzera's already gone down. What can Fur do? They haven't checked the pillar yet. The Molotov doesn't spread, but there we go. Get Right's going to be meticulous in his approach. Leave no stone unturned, and Fallen has to peace out with the AWP.
You know, it's been so cool from Get Right, as I've witnessed through watching him play this tournament and NIP progress through this tournament, is... Remember, he's one of the most legendary players, and he's known for his lurking, and in this version of NIP, he's really turned himself into a pretty solid entry fragger.
Yeah.
Like a complete role reversal from what he used to do.
And even in the rounds where he is lurking, he's still acting as an entry a lot of the time if they decide to rotate back around to him.
Hey, he's like their plan B, isn't he?
Yeah. And one hell of a plan B.
Yeah, what a luxury. But it's pretty impressive that he's been able to reinvent his game. He spent, you know, a year with some health issues where his performance kind of dipped. A lot of people didn't think he would be able to come back and have impact at this level of play, but I think a lot of times during this tournament he's proven them wrong.
A really good state right now of CS when you think about how many storylines we have coming into this major. MIBR starting to show up again. You've got some of these old veterans in Get Right and Forest really turning things up. Phase of this unknown entity still.
Yeah, they're kind of like the last one that you'd like to see turn up, because I still feel like we haven't seen how good they can be in this event.
Yeah.
11-9 in the favor of NIP. Double op setup coming out for Fallen and coldzera, and we've seen coldzera be very serviceable with a double op, playing it towards rep side. But so important for this map is retakes, and double op is really going to hinder that on the CT side. MIBR hoping those ops can stop NIP from even taking a bomb site and avoid the retakes altogether. We'll see if it comes true.
Molotov not quite on point. I think it hit off the wall. I'm not sure if maybe it was actually designed that way just to stall the potential mid push, but MIBR, with their heavy investment over on B, isn't really going to yield much, so Fur's going to pull back and join the rest of his team on A.
This is going to be a timing hit. They got to go now as well. Fur's almost here. He's going to be in line. Here comes the flashbang. Get Right shooting to make sure Taco looks directly at the flash. It doesn't work, and I don't know how coldzera hit that. He looked completely blind, and this hit is stopped cold.
That was absolutely ridiculous, and that could be the determining factor in this round. Because whoever he hit was about to drop into pit, and things were going to get very interesting. Molotov kill onto Electro. I think the smoke was about a second too late. Dennis is going to pop up, but he's instantly knocked down. Taco's picked up 3, make it 4. What a hold.
Yeah, great round from Taco. Stopping the first attacker. coldzera gets the second, but he shuts them all down from there. NIP, they try and catch MIBR sleeping a little bit, and I think they had the right timing. I don't think Fur would have been able to get too involved in that action, but Taco and coldzera getting the first 2 kills of a hit like that pretty much seals it. MIBR creep a little bit closer to regaining the lead, 10-11. And all 5 players survive. That's the important part. Now they have an extra buy behind this. They have a little bit of a buffer.
Oh, the flashbang underneath Reyes. It's going to do a lot of damage. He doesn't realize it. It was perfectly timed. You could see him covering his eyes as he was melting away. So that's now going to put them on the back foot. He can't afford to stay around a banana in case another HE comes down there.
I think the biggest problem is, I don't know if they even realize it's a double op yet, but they have to be able to push this defense back. Forrest is snuck in a position at logs. He could peek up at any time. Phelps has no idea. Fallen peering deep. Sees the shoulder, swings out. Oh, he couldn't complete the kill fast enough. Fallen is so low. Oh, a good response, a good trade from Reds. And that will force the defense back, and that will thin the defense at the A bomb site as Fur comes to join with Phelps.
Must be so frustrating. He was on the very cusp of getting both of those kills, and instead got neither. As you say, though, Rez does counter the frag with one of his own instantly. And now Phelps and Fur are going to hold position. Phelps tagged up heavily.
coldzera readjusting as well, going over towards CT arches, so we can have a fast rotation if this B hit comes in. Lekro is lurking up brackets. Needs to be patient though, and he's not going to be. Oh my god, coldzera almost pins him to the wall. A risky play from Lekro, and Fur. That's got to be frustrating. Blind luck through the smoke.
Time though, Moses, 20 seconds. NIP have been Molotov'd off. Oh, this is going to be so frustrating. They're going to be itching to get on this site. There's a small gap, actually a massive gap for Phelps over this smoke, and he can just bide his time, ready to strike. Switch across from Fur for a triple spray. MIBR, turn it up a notch.
They had so many win conditions there as well. They didn't even have to necessarily get the kills with the time being that low. They could have just kept throwing bodies. Even if they go down, it just takes too much time for NIP to clear out the bomb site. 11 to 11. Not having a plant kind of hurts NIP. They have a full buy this round, but the coffers are running low. Maybe it's not blind luck. Maybe they boosted over and he just saw him at the last second. Either way, this transfer with the AUG looks easy.
Fur was so calm after that huge play. coldzera, though, aggressive in mid, reaps the reward, and NIP just can't catch a break.
Well, that double up has been quiet. We haven't seen it get too many picks, and I think coldzera was just bored. I think he wanted to go take a shot, find a fight. Fur close up. Dodges the flashbang, swings around. Forrest is ready, and Fallen had it trained through the smoke. He doesn't realize it. He's got to try and back away. Once you see the nades start raining over, might as well, and there's a missed shot. Now they have the B bomb site susceptible. It's just Phelps, 1 on 4.
There's 3 players here. Could catch NIP unawares. What an entry by Rez. Phelps will be devastated he didn't do better, but still take nothing away from the Swedes. That's a beautiful take.
It really is, and it's relentless. They just keep pushing forward despite all the obstacles, and this has turned into a bit of a brawl. A bit of like a Rocky movie where there's really no style or substance. They just keep hitting each other and see who falls first.
There's no defense, just haymakers.
Yeah, and everyone can take 1,000 punches.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be the last man standing to the bitter end. This is what we were looking for, though. Taco and coldzera are going to look to hold on to their equipment value. But looks like they're going to be able to do it. I can't see any of the NIP players near them. There we go. We move into round 24. NIP regained the lead. MIBR with the save guns will be able to drop some and come back swinging once again.
It's a pretty big round, though, for how long this fight can continue on the MIBR side. Most of their players are bought to nothing. Phelps, Fur, and coldzera have nothing behind this investment. So for NIP, winning means easing their troubles in the future. For MIBR, it means extending the amount of time they can actually fight for this map. This has been so impressive for NIP. They got decimated at the start of that first half. They stopped the bleeding, closed the gap as much as they could, and now on this T side with the advantage. It's been 6 of 8 rounds in the second half have gone the favor of the Ninjas.
Double nade stack, not going to yield a kill, but does significant damage to Rez. Standard formation on MIBR, no 3-player stack on B this round. Fallen's had a bit of a quiet game as well, just the 7 kills, down around 30 to 40 ADR. Could be a player that separates these two teams if he starts to find some more shots. Is now his moment. No. I am so stunned he missed that.
Yeah, he set that up perfectly. Looking into the wall, he was hoping that NIP would flash it to indicate they were coming. As soon as the flash pops, takes that peek, and it seemed like he had one dead to rights. Oh, that's a great adjustment, though. Rez nearly caught him off guard, but he has no information. 24 seconds on the clock, and now the footsteps begin. Now everyone runs up in a position. That counter flash not going to do anything. NIP hasn't turned the corner yet. Molotov's in toward Tribox. Fallen's not blind. He misses another shot. Now he's burning, but Fur's got him covered. Oh, and they've readjusted. They've moved into the back corner. They know he's there. Fallen, what more can you do? The flick over won't work. It's all on the timing. Phelps, does he want to try and stop this? He spammed down 1. That's not the planner. A 2 on 3.
No grenades intact for the Ninjas, though. But Phelps has been found alongside Lekro, leaving it on Dennis. AK-47 separates him, and MIB clawing us back to a tie once more. You can hear footsteps to his left-hand side. Taco's now on the bomb. He's defusing. It's going down ever so quick. Dennis is going to find him straight through, but can't get the kill and dies afterwards anyway. MIBR will take us to 12-12.
A really awkward spam that just doesn't connect, unfortunately. Looked like he had it right. And I'm going to say, he should have never been in a 1-on-2. Lekro, I'm not sure why he was trying to commit so much and jump out from that position. He had it safe with the AWP. I think he was just worried in case they had a Molotov or a nade. But he really gives himself up and puts Dennis in a tough spot. Mistake in a game that's otherwise been fantastic for Lekro. 12-12 down the stretch.
Could not be any closer or more tense. MIBR 4 rounds shy of securing their position in the top 8.
The setup is so sick.
Shot lands, Taco's gonna come in afterwards. You expect him to be looking at the left-hand side. That's so unlucky from Coldzera. He lands the shot, but somehow it's a leg. Not the chest. Phelps is gonna get flashed out, can't follow on, and tracked with the AUG. Bomb gets dropped, but it's in a position that's salvageable now. Now Phelps has gone with it. And with Fallen and Fur alive, they are going to find the first player in Forest who is stuck in apps. Back turned. Fallen takes a dink for his troubles, but now going to press forward. Look to try and take the fight to the Ninjas, who have made A their home. There's still some utility at their disposal, but a flashbang perfectly counters the push. This is valuable time. They do have a kit, and Dennis from the side is going to come in with 1. It's all about this next bullet. Lekro on 4, Fallen on just 18. He's going to go for the defuse in the smoke, but he doesn't have the kit. It's on his Fallen comrade. He's just waiting there, hoping that Lekro shows himself, but Lekro is playing this to perfection, and the Ninjas will move ahead again.
That's so sick. Makes up for the mistake in the previous round. Beautiful play from Lekro in the pit, using utility to delay. Pressing the issue as well after the stack just doesn't pan out. 1 kill for Coldzera. They wanted more. Taco couldn't get anything, and that leg shot is the one that sealed it. Lekro with a big-time win. Giving NIP the lead one more time, 13-12, and that's it. MIBR. They couldn't build up enough cash flow to keep fighting. Back onto the pistols. They'll have one more chance in the last round before NIP are on map point. Leg shot onto Phelps.
Great reaction speed, just unfortunate not to get the outright kill. But as you said, Moses, there's not really much behind it. Just a Deagle and a P250. Phelps is the player of the P250 that got legged. And Nip are on the precipice right now of taking us to Mirage. We are that close.
Barring anything crazy, you're exactly right. And I say that because 4 players coming over to this B bomb site, and they really only have USPs. Rez is going to be hurt. He cannot be on the front line of this attack, which kind of lessens it down to just 3 players, because the AWP is going to stay back as well from Lekro. Horus going to inch his way in.
I wonder if they get baited off that. You don't typically peek if you're stacking a site. But Forest, he's been here before. He's not going to get taken down from that, and Taco's the last player. Yeah, I was worried there, because typically if you stack, you just hide in position and hope for the best.
Yeah, that's a play that I think most pros will have ran into in the past, the old bait and switch. Send a player out to die and hope they commit to the bomb site without really second-guessing it. I think the great play also is from Forrest, just crouching underneath that boost and getting as close to the smoke as possible. The player on top of the box is expecting contact from his teammates, and he's just a free kill, and then they check the boost, realizing the possibility of a stack. 14-12. What a great offensive half from NIP. They have looked stellar in recovering from an opening half that was just so painful. Lekro still leading the way as well, 22-17, but none matters more than the impact of that clutch, that 2-on-2, which turned into a 1-on-1 that he takes out Fallen.
Yeah, if they end up winning this map, that was the moment, that was the turning point.
Fur's leading the way in the whole server, 23-17, and Coldzera's not too far behind him at 21.
So for this series, that would put Fur on 46 kills.
Yeah, he's been pretty nasty, hasn't he?
He was on 23 on Train, and we're not done just yet. Both teams come through with a pretty decent buy. Obviously, MIBR do fall behind, courtesy of, well, let's just be real, a very shaky last few rounds.
No ops. They've wanted that double op setup. They've had it a number of times in these rounds. They just don't have the money for it. No kits either, Vince. And we've seen a couple of retake scenarios that have come down. Taco being spammed. He had the kit that allowed him to secure the bomb defuse before he got killed. Fallen in the last round, not wanting to stick to defuse without one.
Yeah, you're exactly right, especially with just 2 Molotovs and smokes in play, and some of them are now being tossed out. Flashbangs are running low additionally. They've had such a good read on this T-half. Still trying to spam through just to make sure that no one is close at the top of Banana. Checking every angle, Molotoving out sandbags. Taking every precaution necessary, as you'd expect, with so much on the line.
Also looking for a reaction on the other side of the map. On these rounds on Inferno, when it comes down to the stretch, you often see teams and players shy away from some of those aggressive battles in Banana, willing to take it just to a late round set piece. Only one counter flash, and that's in Fur's hands. He's at the B bomb site, it'll be useless. MIBR just has to straight up win these fights. Get right jumps in. Phelps is going to finish that off. They know both are in the site, but this is hard. They're being pushed back. Dennis going to swing out wide. Hidden Red's going to find that kill. coldzera hasn't been cleared. 8 seconds left on the clock. coldzera's going to deliver again. It's Forrest who's going to go in with the ult, but he can't do it. coldzera, patient in the site, is going to get MIBR on 13, just 1 round behind.
And patient is just the spot-on word. He had a couple of chances, a couple of glimmers to take that shot right here, and he waits for the perfect moment. He was everything in this round for MIBR. If he goes down with only getting 1 kill, the plant can be put down. The round is still open for debate at that stage.
His teammates ran just enough distraction to make his position so powerful. Timeout being called. You could see Zeus talking over with his teammates, NIP discussing amongst themselves, Zeus and coldzera being very vocal. (14-13), both of these teams playing for a spot in the champion stage in the top 8 of the IEM Katowice Major. Everything on the line here, NIP 1 map down. They must win 2 more rounds, and they're out of money after this bye.
Everything hangs by a thread. MIBR at least have the luxury of picking up the first map. NIP do not have that luxury. They have no safety net. It is go for broke. Quite simply put, if they lose this, MIBR are through, and NIP will have to play another best of 3. Lekro, who has been one of the main stars of Inferno, is the first player to have a quick peek up mid. MIBR have got 4 players over here, but they're now going to retreat Fallen back towards the B side. Maybe anticipating a full-on 8 rush. Didn't come in.
I wonder if NIP is going to speed it up a little bit and choose an earlier time to attack a bomb site, as that round they were running so low made them have to force the battle with coldzera inside the site before they were really ready. Starting to make their move now. Control of brackets goes to NIP. Phelps is going to slowly back away. Fallen has an op, but again that's at the B bomb site. If they can crack into it, he's going to be very much diminished in his impact and get right with the lurk inside of the smoke. When does he choose to pounce? He's so close.
Dennis has been found though, so now MIBR's alarm bells begin to ring. Hell of a shot by Lekro. It's a flashbang. Pressure so much on Fur's shoulders, and he's going to come out. He's preemptively spraying down with his AUG. Oh, Fur's going to hold the line, and with it, NIP are going to concede this round. They don't have control of the bomb, and Get Right can do nothing with 8 seconds left.
What a dirty shot by Lekro, and an even better hold of the line from Fur. He's been so stellar. We mentioned top of his team, top of the server, and Get Right. That's a disaster. He goes down after the time is done. He gets no bonus money, stuck on $150. The timeout works wonders for MIBR, even in a high-pressure situation. And now just at the end, just at the finish line, they've grabbed control. This is so sick. I think if he felt like he had time, he would have fallen away and maybe given up that angle, but because he couldn't get away, he was forced to stand and fight, and it works wonders. NIP simply do not have anything to fight with in this round. 2 flashbangs, a deagle on Dennis, and Glocks. They're going to have to fight for overtime in round 30, and even then it won't be a pretty purchase.
Fern knew if he was going out on his shield. And the same could be said of NIP. They have valiantly bounced back in this map. So have MIBR. A real test of will. 2 flashbangs. All that NIP possess with a lonely deagle. Can Dennis work that magic wand once again? Flashbang allows him to have that first peek on Arch. No one's home. MIBR way more passive. Must have had a good read of the situation.
I think they just know the economy situation. They know they've finally done it. They had to have felt close for a number of rounds. Not wanting to let those deagles have a chance. Use the AUGs at range. Phelps and first, slaughtering NIP in round 29. The bomb on the ground. Taco gets the final kill. And now, no matter what weapon you have, Taco's going to upgrade that SMG surely for this last round. It remains to be seen what NIP can actually bring into it. They fought so long and so hard, and it must be difficult. They have one more obstacle to overcome, and a timeout comes in. From the, 7-0 deficit in the first half, 6-9 at halftime. The blitz that they had to survive from MIBR's offense, and now in this second half they grinded all the way back. They took a narrow lead for just a moment, and it all comes down to this 30th round as MIBR might just steal this map away, this map and this series, and a spot in the top 8 right at the last moment.
There's going to be some truly terrifying teams at that 2-2 mark as well. I believe we could have FaZe in the mix. Pretty terrifying stuff. The last buy, potentially, of this match. We'll see Get Right on only a CZ. With him dipping down in firepower, though, does get them more nades, and what a ballsy call this is. MIBR are going to take the fight to NIP in the last round of regulation, and they're going to get rewarded with a couple of kills, but it's backfiring. NIP now do take the man advantage for a brief moment before Fallen drills down Rez with his AWP. But so little time has passed that now NIP can kind of calm down, just let this simmer, and figure out where they're going to push next.
And Taco, he calls NIP's, I mean, he's really giving them an opportunity. Drops a smoke in the choke point, rotates off the B bomb site, left it completely unguarded. NIP obviously with no idea. Now he's come back. Smoke in his face. How does he want to play this? You don't want to be too aggressive. You want to wait for ball to get there. Play the odds almost with the spam kill. Forrest down low and just to Galil as well. One more smoke on Dennis, but the bomb will be planted.
Smoke again denies Taco. Other smoke is faded. Fallen now has an opportunity, and the smoke's not great. Taco can get up on the coffins. He's getting a lot of information for his teammate. And in comes Dennis. He's gone down. Forrest now has to step up, and there's Fallen. He's going to do it for MIBR. They're going to move through to the top 8, and NIP have to go through another best of 3.
What an impressive win for MIBR. An impressive comeback from NIP. That map is a treat. Both of these teams fighting all the way down. Into the this game, and Peta doing his best to console his players. They fought so hard, and it's crushing to see them denied at the very end, but that tells us a lot about NIP. Not going to go
managed to close it out in 2, but not without working.
These are going to be great positions. He's going to see over the smokes and give them free reign to smack down some heads with the USPs, and so far so good. Phelps has got himself one, but here comes Ruben, so good in pistol rounds throughout this event. And this could be another round to shine. Get right, gets the bomb planted further. That was rough, but finally just about gets a hold of the spray and claims another headshot. Rez has got 2. He's now perched up in heaven. Now the tables have turned. He drops back down into hell, and it's going to be the end of first. This team to at least do something on the other side of the map. Otherwise, he's going to get caught in transition, and it's going to be Fur up close with the AUG and the freest of kills. Here comes coldzera. Oh, that spray transfer was majestic.
Against Cloud9 on this map, able to turn it around now and get a secure win here. Or not a secure, but getting an impressive win here against NIP.
Yeah, they had to work.
So good, Phelps has got himself one, but here comes Rez. He's been so good in pistol rounds throughout this event. And this could be another round to shine. Get right, gets the bomb planted further. That was rough. And now Lekro's going to somehow try and pull off this 1v2 clutch. Long-range UMP is not going to help him out. He does have the bomb just to his right-hand side, but will he be able to have enough impact, though? He needs the rest of his team to at least do something on the other side of the map. Otherwise, he's going to get caught in transition, and it's going to be Fur up close with the AUG and the freest of kills. For a peek. Here we go. Smoke going to go down. Was there a Molotov? Did that just extinguish out in the open? Did that just destroy the terrorist in transition there? Fur from the side with the MP.
Yeah, but he's looking for it now. He backs away. NIP going to progress. Phelps, first point of contact. He goes down. He's traded by Rez. coldzera's responding as well to a boost, and so it cost.
So many of these duels just going the way of the Brazilians. NIP are getting into position, but they're losing out on the trades. Lekro UMP nearly doubles up. Post plant. The CTs have to move into his crosshairs. Can he go massive once again? He's got all off the smoke.
It's not planted for him, Vince. He can't win this. He's going to be forced out, and even though he gets that kill...
Fire does afford them still some threat and a Molotov, plus the buy on the horizon in round 9. Oh, that's the perfect way to start. Thorough Vauxhall's able to do damage. If he walks into this Deagle, though, things could get... Just got to try and do some damage now for Dennis. There's not much else available for him. It's 25 seconds. There's the first, but it will...
A solid lead for MIBR, no sign of slowing down. Pistols for NIP, so many flashes actually. Everyone's blind there for half a second, which causes Fallen to miss that one. He's got Fur to cover his mistakes, not aware on top of the trains, but Phelps going to come out of the edge of the smoke. He can only get one. Great trade from Rez, who's having a solid start to this game, but Forrest still lurking around the...
Of MIBR's value in terms of grenades. They only have 1 smoke, 2 flashes, and a HG has a minute and 35 to play with. That's why they're playing aggressive, and they've got the scalp of Rez. That's a big one. First spin.
In that area of the map, the fact that it's quiet is telling in and of itself.
Yeah, the guns certainly have been vocal outside, but now it's going to be inside. MIBR have a very different test.
Because they were so labored when he was having the tough time. Force is going to have a chance to get involved. He's been great, quiet first half, and he's going to get pinched from team mid. No one's watching that. He's down without a fight. And that's the thing. If you lose track of that one lane, things can go sideways real quick.
Fur's on an ace. He's picked up 4 kills already. He's looking to try and finish off with a Glock. Is he going to get it done? Yes, he will, Fur! This is going to be a 4-man push, and Get Right is going to oblige with a headshot from the AUG. There is smokes out. Galil of all weapons trades kills, but there's Forrest onto Phelps. Somewhat seeing 2 players. Maybe assuming Nip would expect the rotation. That's not going to happen. Here we go. All systems ahead. Can Dennis derail the Juggernaut? No. He
them consistently that things might get dicey.
Well, this is a round where MIBR may need to pull out a play of the book, or perhaps not. Safe to say, he has been so far. May not be done just yet either with the scout. Oh no, Nick. Half of his health, and the rest has been taken away from Fallen comes full circle. MIBR in style takedown train.
Now that is what Brazil